If you see the Goodyear Blimp flying around, you can bet something important is happening on the ground below it. But have you ever thought about what it takes to keep the airship flying safely in our skies above? Well, Fleet Maintenance was invited to the Goodyear Airship Operations in Mogadore, Ohio, not just to go inside the hangar where the fleet of 4 blimps are regularly maintained, but to climb inside an actual blimp to see crews at work. Hi, I'm Chris Bolio with Fleet Maintenance. I'm here with Jim Crone, who manages the airship maintenance here at Goodyear, and we are inside the Goodyear blimp right now.
The space you're in here is the helium space when we're in normal operation. This would be full of helium, and we keep air in the front and the aft ballonnet, and that helium the air allows us to make up for the expansion and contraction of helium. So as helium contracts or as it expands, we can let air out or let air in without having to add helium or take helium out on an hourly, daily basis type of thing.
It was time for us to leave the balloon-like structure made of polyester, called an envelope. That felt like walking on a trampoline. And yes, I felt a little motion sickness. Then, back onto solid ground to hear more about the routine maintenance inspections. So tell us a little bit about what we're doing here today.
Hi, well, first of all, we have 2 airships in the hangar. We have November 3 Alpha, Wingfoot 3 in the back, and November 1 Alpha, Wingfoot 1 in the front. Wingfoot 3 is in a heavy maintenance, a phase check. So the airship, we've suspended the airship from the hangar, we've removed all the helium, and we're doing all the internal inspections inside the airship. At the same time, also, we're doing an upgrade to the engine ignition system on this airship, installing a new ignition system. And we're also doing a lot of work on the inside of the gondola where we're cleaning and preparing the airship and getting it ready to eventually fly again in about 3 weeks. Really, during the phase 1 inspection, it's a condition inspection. We have a list of things that we're supposed to inspect, and we do that, and we're looking for any kind of abnormal issues. So we may see some chafing, we may see some wear, we look for corrosion. We inspect the condition of the fabric, we look for pinholes, any kind of abrasions or anything like that so we can repair that. Each airship has a prescribed set of intervals that are approved by the FAA. And so we comply with those FAA regulations. So every 100 flight hours, we have to bring the airship in. We have to inspect all the engines, the passenger gondola, the envelope, those type of things. And then we release the airship back to service. And then at the same time, each airship has 5 what we call phase inspections or heavy maintenance checks. When we bring the airship in, we have 1 maintenance check that you see here, phase 1, that's underway now where we take the helium out. That's about a 4 to 6 week time frame to do that work, where we do a lot of inspecting on the inside, the fuel systems, the structure, the envelope, the ballonnets, all of that type of work. And then we have 4 more phase inspections throughout the year, 1 for each engine and 1 for the passenger gondola. So we have a pretty extensive maintenance program that allows us to stay in compliance with the FAA and also allows us to keep the airship safe and in airworthy condition flying.
Yeah. So tell me about any similarities that there would be between technicians that work on large trucks versus your crew.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's a lot of similarities. And you look at some of our equipment here, our big trucks. We have PLC circuits, we have hydraulics, we have remote control systems. So a lot of our vehicles here are very complex. It's very similar to the airship. We have, fly-by-wire system. We have an integrated flight control system. We have a glass cockpit. So there's a lot of similarities. There's similarities in how we do our work. We use a lot of the same type of equipment, multimeters, specialized tooling, a lot of things like that, hydraulic testing equipment, similar to what we use on our big trucks. So in that regard, there's a lot of similarities. It's just that our equipment sometimes is not as big as what they need on big trucks. It's a little bit smaller because we're not, we don't have the big engines and that type of equipment.
So right now in the hangar, we have 2 pretty large blimps in here. Tell me about what it takes to get them in here and secured.
Okay, well, to have 2 airships in the hangar, it's garage parking 101. So we have experts that bring in the airships and park the airships in here and make this happen for us. But we actually have, it's a coordinated event. We have a big truck, a big mass truck that holds the nose of the airship, and we have 2 50,000-pound tugs that hold the back of the airship. And we bring the airship in, we turn it and bring the tail in first, and we drive the airship into the hangar and get it to the back, secure it with ropes, and we disconnect the equipment from the airship. And then what we do is we go on top with a boom lift, similar to like how you guys would jack up a big truck. The same thing here, we raise the airship. We use a winching system to raise up the airship to get it off the ground. And that allows us to do our maintenance on the airship.
So when you bring the blimps in, they're full of helium, but obviously to work on them, there needs to be oxygen in there. So tell me a little bit about that process.
Yeah, that process takes about 3 days. So we bring the airship in. Once we jack it up or suspend it from the ceiling, then we attach hoses, and we have big envelope bags, or we call them nurse bags. They're big gray bags that we transfer the helium into the gray bags, and at the same time we bring air into the bottom of the airship. As we fill it with air, the helium is pushed out into these gray bags, and then we take the helium, clean it, and compress it and put it back into a tube trailer for later use when we reinflate the airship down the road. And that's, yeah, that's one of the bags there, right? One of the nurse bags there. As you can see, it actually has helium in it. So we would have about 6 or 7 of these inflated, fully inflated. They stand about 60 feet tall, and they're about 35 feet around, 40 feet around. They hold about 800 cubic meters of helium. So regarding our tools here, it's very important, just like the diesel mechanics, just like the guys working on the big trucks, we don't want to leave our tools laying around either. So we have an extensive tool program. All of our tools are monitored, all of our toolboxes are shadowed, and everything is inventoried on a daily basis. We inventory in the morning and the evening, so we know where our tools are at, and if there's a tool missing, we stop until we find that tool. There's a lot of specialized tools we use, especially when we went inside the envelope today. We have to carry specialized tools because that's confined space. We have to carry radios and oxygen sensors, and we carry a specialized knife in case we ever have to get out of the envelope in a hurry. We can do that. Not that that's going to happen, but that's all part of the safety protocol that we have when we go inside. So when we're inside the ballonets and we're working, and we're doing the inspection work, sometimes the ballonet fabric can shift or move, and sometimes we have to be careful, and we don't want somebody to become engulfed in fabric. So that's what that knife is there for. It's really a safety requirement. To this date, nobody's ever had to use one. It's such a unique job, and it's so specialized, and the great thing about this job is just it's a huge team effort. Everybody here has a role to play, and everybody plays their role so well, and we do this together, we work together so well. So being an aircraft mechanic, you got to have an FAA certified certificate called an airframe and power plants certificate. And basically, once you have that, if we bring you in and hire you, we teach you how to work on the airship because it is so unique. There's not a whole lot. There's not a lot of airships out there, so most guys come here and we have to teach them how to work on the airship.
So in 2025, the Goodyear Blimp will celebrate its 100th birthday. Tell me about the plans for that birthday party.
This is an exciting time for the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. For Goodyear Airship Operations, 100 years of operation. We're excited. We're planning a celebration with all of our fans to bring out the airship to showcase what we have done over the past 100 years and to let people see what this great organization and all the things that we've done. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be really exciting, and it'll be a big event.
All right. Well, Jim, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all of this information. This was a really awesome opportunity. Fleet Maintenance is very thankful to Goodyear for allowing us to come here today.
Yeah, thank you. We enjoyed having you guys out. It was a pleasure.